Young, bro.
He's an animal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so fucking good. He's so good. I mean, think about what that guy has done.
Boxing insiders aren't pulling any punches this time. The revelation that Oleksandr Usyk is training alongside rising heavyweight sensation Moses Itauma has sent tremors throughout the boxing world. It's not just big news, it's a seismic shift. One of the most intelligent and uncrackable fighters of this generation is now
Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
20.
Yeah, 20 years. I think Itauma have big future.
molding a teenage prospect into the next force of destruction. This isn't just mentorship, it's a tactical alliance, and for Dillian Whyte, it might spell disaster. Picture it. Usyk, the undefeated maestro who conquered cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions with footwork that defies physics and a ring IQ that borders on genius, is now in the same camp as a 19-year-old lion on the hunt. Moses Itauma isn't just getting sparring rounds, he's getting a crash course in elite warfare directly from the architect of some of the most masterful performances.
On him, it was the most exhausted he's ever been. Because he's always moving. There's no rest with him.
No rest.
There's
no
like
time.
constant,
Yeah.
there's constant twitching.
Under
so
fire the whole time.
you're constantly thinking, when is this coming?
In modern boxing, this isn't about learning on the job, it's a crash course in calculated chaos. This development has transformed Moses' preparation from just another fight camp into what looks more like a laboratory of destruction. Usyk isn't there for optics. He's there to transfer wisdom, to sculpt, to elevate. And Moses, wide-eyed and hungry, is soaking it all in like a sponge, absorbing every nuance, every angle, every mental trick that has made Usyk a nightmare for giants. For Dillian Whyte, this isn't just another bout, it's a crisis waiting to unfold. Usyk isn't merely lending his name or presence to Moses' preparation. This is a full-blown strategic infiltration into the heavyweight ranks. Moses himself admitted that before this, he hadn't deeply studied Usyk's style. But now, with the Ukrainian genius in the same gym, those lessons are becoming real-time downloads. Every feint, every angle, every evasive movement is being drilled into Moses' growing arsenal. This isn't just training, it's evolution.
Were they?
Yeah, Lomachenko's father trained Usyk as well.
Ah.
Yeah.
So there's something, something.
Obviously, gravity keeps him from moving the way Lomachenko does, because Lomachenko's so small.
Yeah.
He can like dance around you.
For sure.
In footwork, just majestic footwork. But Usyk's footwork is like, there's a bunch of breakdowns of the final combination that he hit Daniel with.
Transformation on a molecular level, and it's not just the boxing community that's taking notice. Tyson Fury, a man who's seen everything from the inside, called Moses a sponge, and when Fury says a young fighter absorbs like that, it means something. Fury has battled legends, toyed with champions, and dominated minds. He doesn't hand out compliments lightly, but the idea of a 19-year-old absorbing the intelligence of Usyk, that's the kind of terrifying potential that even Fury...
Although it does, people always say, oh, it's all about hard work, it's all about hard work, but it's not. It's also the mentality you have, the upbringing, your genetics, everything plays a part in it.
Fury respects. The real question here isn't whether Moses Itauma is learning, it's how fast he's leveling up and how dangerous he's becoming in the process. Usyk's presence in his camp isn't just symbolic, it represents a shift in the power structure of the heavyweight division. With every session, Moses isn't just improving, he's being weaponized. For Dillian Whyte, the situation is growing more precarious by the day. Once feared for his grit and willingness to go to war, Whyte now finds himself in the crosshairs of a future champion being polished by a current legend. This isn't a young buck looking to test himself. This is a calculated assault, a cold, precise, cerebral plan to dismantle a fighter whose best days might be behind him. Joe Rogan put it best. Usyk's movement is unlike anything we've seen in decades. Coming from the same school of movement that produced Vasily Lomachenko.
It's going to be interesting to see how much that Dillian Whyte has left. And could this be potential
I think it does have the potential to do what Martin McCauley did to Jared Anderson. Maybe it's too early, or maybe he passes with flying colours, and that's why you got to watch it and find out. But one thing I will say about Moses is he's a very good fighter, good little boxer, good puncher, and a lovely kid as well. It's like a
Lomachenko, Usyk glides through the ring like a ghost. His angles confuse, his rhythm frustrates, and his ability to mentally disarm opponents is uncanny. Now, Moses is being built from that exact blueprint. He's not just faster, younger, or stronger. He's becoming smarter, more tactical, more unpredictable. But don't mistake Moses for a blind follower. He's not just imitating Usyk. He's absorbing the principles, then applying them in his own way. He's learning not just to move, but to move with purpose. Not just to punch, but to break rhythm and reset the fight on his terms. It's no longer about how hard he trains. It's about how deeply he understands the fight. And in that space between instinct and intellect, Moses is becoming a problem few will know how to solve. Tyson Fury wasn't the only one taking notice. Tony Bellew, a veteran who's seen elite prospects come and go.
There's no one who's going to beat him. I just think technically, physically now, he's at the weight and he's adapted and he's adjusted. I mean, he's even adjusted and adapted his weight for this fight individually. I mean, he put on how much weight and slowed the actual feet down because Daniel Dubois' feet were...
Didn't mince words. He called Moses unbeatable. That's not hyperbole from a pundit. It's insight from someone who's fought the best, someone who knows what elite looks like. Bellew points to Moses' adaptability, his ability to gain weight strategically, change styles depending on the threat, and adjust mid-fight. That's not just talent, that's championship DNA. And now that DNA is being combined with Usyk's fingerprints. The result? A young fighter who isn't just ready to compete, he's ready to dominate. Bellew warns that Whyte might be walking into a trap, the kind of fight that looks fair on paper but is in reality a brutal mismatch in disguise. Moses isn't looking to be tested, he's looking to make a statement, and Whyte might be the name that becomes a footnote in the birth of a new king. Gareth A. Davies, one of the most respected voices in boxing media, captured it perfectly. He described the rising fascination with Moses Itauma as universal. Promoters, fans, broadcasters, they're not just
wanting to go there because Moses Itauma is fascinating. I spoke to Francis Warren ringside on Saturday night. You had a microphone as well. Were you allowed to put the pressure on them to speak? Because I just did anyway. And Francis...
Just watching, they're circling. Moses is undefeated, but more importantly, he's unpredictable. That calm exterior hides a complexity most fighters take a decade to develop. With Usyk now sharpening those edges, the mystique around Moses has turned from curiosity to fear. Even the likes of Francis Warren, a seasoned promoter, have been bombarded with questions about what's next for Moses. That's how real the hype is. This isn't just another fight on a Saturday night. This is a potential unveiling, a moment where a young lion proves he's no longer chasing shadows but setting the standard. And if Whyte doesn't bring more than just experience, he could find himself buried beneath a tidal wave of momentum. Simon Jordan didn't sugarcoat it either. He said what many insiders have been whispering. This fight is less about whether Moses is ready and more about whether Whyte has anything left. It's a strategic...
I think it's a great fight, but it'll be fascinating to see how Moses goes against Dillian. I don't think they put him in against Dillian Whyte if they think there's real jeopardy for them. I think they think they might get a few rounds and get asked a few more questions than possibly they've been asked by Marius Wack and Dempsey McKean. But I don't think...
Strategic play by Team Moses. You don't throw your top prospect in with a live wire. You match him with someone who still has name value, but is on the decline. Jordan sees it for what it is, a chess move disguised as a war. Whyte, once headlining against Anthony Joshua and trading knockdowns with Alexander Povetkin, now finds himself in the role of a test, a gatekeeper, a name on the resume. And that's the brutal truth about boxing. It moves fast. If you don't evolve, you get replaced. And Usyk isn't preparing Moses to simply win. He's preparing him to dominate. Joe Gallagher added another layer to this conversation. He asked the question, why is someone like Usyk, a man with nothing left to prove, stepping into a 19-year-old's camp? The answer is clear. Usyk doesn't do charity work. He doesn't waste time. He invests it. And his decision to invest in Moses means he sees something truly rare. That alone speaks volumes. Gallagher also pointed out that Usyk's
Listen, he was unbelievable. He was on form today. He boxed great. He did the right things. He was counter-punching, and he was moving well, and he wasn't getting caught. And he started off with a jab, so what can you say?
Involvement doesn't just raise Moses' credibility, it raises the danger level. Whyte may think he's in for a typical veteran vs prospect battle, but in reality, he's facing a version of Moses that's being crafted by a boxing architect. Usyk's lessons don't just come in the form of drills, they come in the form of mind shifts, psychological recalibration, strategic mastery, and that kind of tutelage is priceless. Adam Smith stepped in with a more grounded take. He questioned whether Moses is truly ready for someone as seasoned and durable as Whyte, but let's unpack what that really means. The very fact that this fight is being considered tells you something. Most 19-year-olds are chasing amateur accolades. Moses is chasing ex-title challengers. That's not hype, it's ambition. Yes, Whyte has grit. He's been in wars, survived brutal knockouts, and climbed his way back. But he's also been worn down, both physically and mentally, and he's never faced a fighter who has the best.
I think he's very, very good, Moses Itauma. So some people might say he'll get rid of Dillian Whyte like he has the others. Maybe not. Maybe Dillian's too much for him at this stage, which is why it's
benefit of Usyk's game planning and vision. Smith admits it himself. Even if Whyte might be too much on paper, the intrigue is there. People want to know, can Moses rise now, not in 5 years? Now, Adam Smith later broke it down even further, diving into the technical side of the matchup. That's where things get even scarier for Whyte. Moses isn't just physical, he's cerebral. His footwork, his ability to manage range, his shot selection, all elite for someone so young. Now imagine all of that being refined by Usyk, a fighter known for making elite opponents miss wildly and pay heavily. If you lunge at Moses, you get countered. If you freeze, he walks you down. There's no safety net. And now, with the mental sharpness Usyk is building into him, Moses doesn't just react, he calculates. That's a dangerous combination. Whyte has always relied on pressure and durability, but that breaks down quickly when you're fighting someone who's 3 steps ahead mentally. Smith is right.
Moses is that his feet and his distance and his range is so good and he's so quick that if you commit to the punches, you're going to get countered. And if you don't, you're going to get backed up and taken out. So it's a real puzzle. There's not many heavyweights that are southpaws. Obviously, Oleksandr Usyk is, but he's moved up into that domain, and that's why
this fight will be won in the spaces between, where balance, timing, and IQ matter most. And Moses, sharpened by a master, is already winning that war before the first bell rings. Johnny Nelson put it plainly, this is a good fight, but it might not be a fair one. That's not an insult to Whyte, it's a reality check. Nelson, a former world champion, knows what it means to be used as a measuring stick. When he says Whyte might be a gatekeeper now, it's because the signs are too clear to ignore. Slowing down, fading late, taking too much damage. These are the traits of a fighter past his peak. Meanwhile, Moses Itauma isn't being thrown into this recklessly. He's being guided, shaped, fine-tuned for a clean victory. If Whyte approaches this like he did against Joshua or Povetkin, with raw aggression and power, he may find himself swinging at shadows and eating counters. Moses isn't here to brawl, he's here to break you down, and Usyk is showing him how. Dave
establishes himself, so just wait and see, but it's exciting.
What do you make of Itauma versus Dillian Whyte?
It's a good fight. Dillian likes to fight. He'll have a tear up.
Yeah.
You know, you can't test this man for winners. You know, he'll fight anybody and everybody. So with Dillian doing that, you think, you know what? You know, it's a good fight, good testing fight, and like, you know, he might be a gatekeeper.
Allen summed it up with a simple truth. Usyk's the best machine in the business. and that machine is now building a prototype in Moses. Allen knows that Usyk's strength lies beyond his fists. It's his brain, his mindset, his cold, clinical ability to read a fight, reset, and dominate. Moses now has access to that mindset every day in training, and the results are already showing. This fight is no longer just about Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. It's about the arrival of the new school, backed by the most advanced tutor in the game. One side has years of wear, a fading engine, and the weight of past glory. The other has youth, hunger, and a tactical blueprint being drafted in real time by a pound-for-pound legend. So what's really at stake? For Moses, it's the breakout moment, a chance to go from rising name to unavoidable force. For Whyte, it's survival, not just in the ring, but in relevance. A loss here might confirm what many are already thinking, that the game has moved on. Usyk's presence has changed everything. He's not just watching a torch being passed, he's handing...
Usyk, I don't think there's nothing more for him to prove. What is he's in a situation like all good fighters when the start comes to the end of the career. You've got the next gen coming through, you've got your upperties that want to move up and fight him, you've got the young guns I see too.
It over, and if Moses delivers the performance many are expecting, this might not be the end of Dillian Whyte's run. It might be the beginning of a new era, one defined not by brute force, but by brilliance, not by noise, but by silent domination. Now the question becomes simple. Are you riding with the cold precision of the next-gen assassin, Moses Itauma, or do you believe Dillian Whyte has one last stand in him? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this right here isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning.